this is our year anniversary.
Yes, it is.
Don't you love that?
Yes,
This is our year anniversary.
it's hard to believe, right?
I love it. I love that.
Okay.
I love that. Oh yeah, I did get it. Okay. All right. So 1 year to the date. What happened 1 year to the date, Miss Teddy?
Moved in here and, got started, and we've been trying to grow ever since. And so, anybody, if you have ideas, if you have, you just want to be on, come talk to Heather.
Or Teddy?
Well, you can talk to
Yeah, you can talk to Miss Teddy.
and just go ahead and talk to us about what you can do and how we can bring you on, and how your opinions, or if you want to, talk to people, have people call in.
Yes,
So
have
do the
people
call-in,
call
is
in.
that
Yes,
right?
we have a call-in number.
Right,
We'll get you
can
that
do
call-in number at the break.
Mhm. So, it's just something that you could do. I love it.
I love it.
I've been off the air for a long time. I came back in
Yeah.
last Saturday.
Mhm.
And so, it's so good to be able to kind of come forward and,
Yeah.
just let the Holy Spirit, lead us and guide us as we
Mhm.
do.
That's right.
You don't have to be,
That's right.
to come on and go ahead and verbalize, how you're feeling about things
Yeah.
politically,
Mhm.
or whatever your agenda might be. You can't do, outrageous.
Right.
We
We
will
believe in free speech.
we do.
But what is our main mission? To
Thank you.
spread the good
Yes.
news.
We're not going to have you bring on porn or talking about that kind of
Thank
thing.
you. Thank you.
Those kind of things. Anything having to do with child abuse, unless you're totally against child abuse.
And we're going to have a show about that.
We are, yes.
We are.
So certain things like that. So, but hit us up with your ideas.
That's right. And let me also, let's start off. We are not a Christian broadcast station, but we are Christians broadcasting. And so let's start off the way we normally do, with everything that we do. I don't care if we are having cocktails or if we're eating tacos, burritos, no, whatever we're doing. We always start off in prayer, because Teddy and I are really linked spiritually that way, and we believe that we want to do what Dr. Cindy Trim said to do, which is to set up your atmosphere, to command your atmosphere. That's very, very important. We're going to talk about that also later on in the show. Yes,
I really do.
Oh,
and what I'm going through, I really need to learn
it
that.
Really works.
And 365 days of gratitude. That is on Facebook, the 365 days of gratitude. And I'm going to admit, and I'm going to confess, I do have some problems sometimes with really getting the gratitude going. And instead, I think we have a problem to get bogged down by our problems and what's going on and the issues that face us on a daily basis, instead of just praising God in every situation.
Right.
And, he gave me,
That's right.
He gave me praise through. I said, May has just been a horrible month for me.
May was a tough month for me,
for a long
too.
time.
My God.
But we walked into court and had a victory.
We had a victory.
Tuesday.
We had so many victories in May.
And then on the 1st, and then June,
That's right.
June 1st, I found out I had a victory in May.
That's
it
right.
didn't show up until the 1st.
That's right.
But I had a victory, another victory. And so, some of it is professing what we profess with our mouth.
That's right.
My man always says that. You know what? You profess with your mouth. Don't profess the negative.
That's right.
Try to profess the positive. That's so much easier said than done.
So much easier said than done.
Gosh,
so let's go ahead and set the atmosphere.
Yes, let's do that in prayer.
Right now, let's do that in prayer. In the name all other names, Jesus, our Lord and Savior, the beginning and the end. He stated to us, loved his beloved. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. And the only way through to the Father, me. And Lord, we believe that. We believe that in our heart and in our soul. Not only do we believe it, we walk it out with you, Father. We ask you to order our steps. We ask you in the name of Jesus to order the steps of our brothers and sisters, of our friends, our enemies. Order their steps, Father. Order their steps. Let it be you. Let it be your will be done. We know that you have a plan for us. We know and we believe that your plan is right. We are only asking you, Father, for the guts. We're asking you for the strength. We're asking you to increase our core strength. We know that that is where all things good come from the core. And we're asking you, Father, to increase the core strength, strengthen our backs, increase the strength of our gut so that we have the strength and the belief and the faith to follow your process. And it is in the process, the matchless name of Jesus, we say, did you feel that?
Yeah, we just need to invite the Holy Spirit in, I think.
Yeah.
Come in and just, really guide us and lead us and guide our words and
and lead us and process. That's what came out of that. The Holy Spirit dropped that into my heart, that you have to have the resilience and the strength to follow. That's hard.
That's hard.
That is hard.
I'm not going to say, that things are not easy, and even if we're in Christ, things aren't easy. We still face the challenges and we still face things, but it's how we approach them, I think.
That's right. And allow the processing to happen. Like we're going through, like right now, the reason why I'm just like so cash. For one thing, it's our first year anniversary. And so I'm going to be as cash as I want to be. No. But actually, I'm casual. And, people always see me in jewelry and full makeup and everything. And that's true. But I just got through working out with the kids. We're preparing for the Iron Maiden Challenge at the end of the month. You guys heard me talk about Iron Maiden Challenge back in May. And it's just tons of grandmas. And I shouldn't just say grandmas because, it's just a lot of women my age who are mostly grandmas.
Not everybody.
Not everybody is a grandma. Not everybody is a grandma. And but what we do is we meet over at Central Park, and that is right over here in North Stapleton. So right over here off of Martin Luther King 32nd. Central Park is a fabulous park with tons of trails. It's a 4-mile trek, 4 miles in, 4 miles back. So actually that's 8 miles. Because you got to process yourself and come back. It's the coming back. You're like, oh, Lord, what have I done? But you've done a good thing. That's what he's telling you. You've done a good thing. Now you're doing good. No, but what it is, it's a track. Okay, so then we're there for one thing only, and that is to get into the best possible shape that we can be in individually. Now, what that shape is for her is different for me.
That's correct. So don't compare yourself.
Don't compare yourself. Do not compare yourself.
Absolutely.
And allow everyone to get to their own, to actually a walk to the beat of their own drum. And that's what she says that too. She starts with the drum when we begin to start with the drum. And that drum, it's setting the atmosphere. It's like that drum is like, what it was doing for me? It was blocking out, or it was ticking out, or it was destroying all of these terrible messages that were in my head. I didn't sleep well last night.
So what were the terrible messages in your head?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'll talk to you about that because I went
other
out.
People might have those and not and think they're the only ones.
That they're the only ones. No, I had some terrible messages in my head because I went out on a date last night with a friend, and he goes, "Let's go on a date." I was really hesitant because I didn't want it to be datey. I didn't want him to feel.
You want to probably be a little more casual, a little more feel yourself and not feel pressure, right?
Right. Let's go on a date. I said, okay, let's go. And so we went out to dinner, which was wonderful. And we went to a movie, which I hated because he picked out the movie, and that's okay. But it wasn't a movie that I would normally. And I need to be more flexible because not everybody loves 18th century English films or 17th century French films. I'm like, oh, kill me right now. Why don't you just take me out if I gotta sit through, Versailles? Oh my God. But then I like a lot of romantic movies too.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of men would rather have their eye poked out than sit through
A romantic
a
movie,
double
that's true.
romantic
Yes.
movie. You know, and so we saw his movie.
So
You
what
know,
was his movie?
I'm not going to put it down,
Okay.
but it was a fight movie. And
It
was
just wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me.
Right.
Ghost in the Machine. Okay, I said, ha, ha, ha. Ghost in the Machine. It was called. Not Ghost in the Machine. I think it is Ghost in the Machine. Or the Ghost. Oh, the Ghost in the Shell. Sorry about that. With Scarlett Johansson. Ghost in the Shell.
I haven't heard of it.
I know.
That doesn't mean anything.
Believe me. This was one of those that you take like maybe a 12-year-old. No, I'm not saying that. That's such a judgment. A lot of adults were in there, but it was one of those. I don't know. It was sci-fi. It was sci-fi. That's what it was.
Okay.
You know, real fantastic. You know,
Right,
fantasy
and that's something I'm not really into
in the
either.
future,
But yeah, right.
and they're you know fighting. Every scene is fighting.
Mhm.
There wasn't one kiss in the scene.
Oh, no.
Not one. I said, what?
In the whole movie?
In the whole movie. She goes, Mom, I love you. You know, I'm like,
Okay.
Can you hug and kiss your mom?
Right.
Not one kissing scene.
Wow. Okay.
That was really weird for me. And then they didn't hug either. It was like, you know, I thought I was watching an old Star Trek.
Well,
movie,
I mean, come on.
you know, with Spock. And they don't say Nanu. That's the other one, huh? No,
Yeah.
it was that Live Long and Prosper.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that's something. The
Yeah.
Vulcan
So-
death beam
Yeah. Mhm.
or whatever. But you know what I mean?
Well, you know, I mean, but Heather, if you think about it, if they're talking about the future, I mean, as you're saying this, I'm just seeing this. So as you're talking about the future and everything, you think about, I'm going to say sterile things are getting now.
Yes.
Even with texting and everything. I mean,
Oh,
we're
you're so
getting
right.
where things are more sterile. You don't have that interaction. You don't have the hugging. You don't have the kissing. You don't have that used to be.
Right.
I mean, if I think about, you know, I mean, parents weren't touchy-feely or anything like that. But even my husband and I, you know, when my husband was alive, I mean, we'd sit in church and we'd look at each other and he'd kiss me on the cheek or take my hand and things like that, you know, and then I look at, you know, who I'm with today, and he's younger than I am by 8 years. And then my husband was
But that's not a long
older by
time.
5, but it has given a difference, you know,
Right.
and how you're raised and that kind of thing. I didn't see it, but I craved it. You know, I do. I crave to be cuddled and held and, you know, made to feel like, you know, like I'm special. We're losing that.
We
We're
are
losing
losing it.
that.
I think people are actually not even trying to articulate, or they're afraid to articulate their feelings.
So are we afraid of our feelings? I mean, let's talk
I think
about
a
that.
lot of it is that we're afraid of our feelings.
Or have we been hurt in situations, so therefore we've reeled all our feelings back in, and now we're numb?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to tell you that I haven't felt myself, you know, being numb sometimes and feeling like, wow, I'm just numb. I don't know if that's good or that's bad, but numb.
Right.
I know he's felt the same thing. And I know people are feeling that. They just, what is that all about?
What is that all about?
Yeah.
So, you know, so I was feeling kind of bad because I didn't like the movie. And then I felt kind of bad because I wasn't really engaged in the date.
Okay.
I wanted the date to do more for me. I don't know. I just had probably not realistic expectations. Okay. And then
Now, is it because it was called a date? You came up with some, you know, your expectations were maybe raised?
Okay. Because it was called.
Because it had just been, hey, let's just go out to the movies. Let's go out to dinner and to the movies.
That would have been different, I think.
Sometimes I think on a date where our expectations do rise, and it's like, you know, I mean, there's all those things, you know. I mean, when you think of date, you think, is there going to be a kiss at the end, and what this?
And I was worried about those things.
I think we can overanalyze
like,
those
yeah,
things.
like,
Is that going to happen?
God,
Is
does
it
he
not going to
expect a
happen?
kiss?
Right.
You know, does he want to feel me up? What's going on? You know, I mean, you know, I just
Right.
wanted to-
I mean, let's be honest. What
You
are
know,
his expectations?
what are
I mean,
the expectations?
You said you've been friends, and
Yeah.
and you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're dating. I mean, does he expect it to become sexual? And
Yeah, you know,
we're
you know,
just being honest here.
adults.
We're just being real.
We are adults, and that is being real. You know, that we we have to look at those things and we have to say, hey, you know, am I dating or is this just fun?
Right.
Or, you know, and then should we call it a date from now on? I don't know if we should even call it a date.
Okay, so I want you to continue. So you went
Okay.
on this date.
On
right?
this date.
Okay.
Okay. And then
went to the movie.
we
Movie
went to
wasn't
the
really
movies.
yours.
The movie
So
wasn't.
you were
wasn't-
sidetracked.
I was sidetracked completely. And then, because the movie sucked. So anyway, I couldn't, you know.
Okay.
And the popcorn sucked.
Oh.
And then he bought me a Diet Coke, and I told him I did not drink Diet Pop at all. But he bought me a Diet Coke. He goes, "Well, I drink Diet Coke," and I forgot. I didn't mean to forget that.
Okay, so how did that make you feel?
so-
Let's talk about that because
Okay.
you're bringing it up. It made you feel some kind of way.
It did.
It did.
Baby Matthew, some kind of
Yeah,
way.
some kind of way. So
Some kind of way.
okay, so talk about that
Okay.
because I mean, there might be somebody out there that happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you? Okay, well, I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
So did you feel like he was saying you need to drink diet and not regular?
Right. That's
So
what I
did
felt.
it go through your head that maybe he was making judgment on your weight or your
yes, I was thinking all those little things. Like, oh, he must be.
I mean, let's be
he
honest,
must be
because there's
thinking,
other women
I
out there
am
that probably think the same
losing
thing.
weight. I am
Right.
working it out. I am getting in
Or-
the best possible shape possible.
What about if you go to dinner with someone?
Yeah.
And they're like, bring that. And I mean, we as women, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sensitive about my weight. I
Yeah.
still need to lose like 15 pounds, and I'm sensitive.
I'm sensitive.
And you know, I mean, you know, someone.
No, I mean,
call
people
me-
go, "Oh, you're looking fat." You know, that'll ruin it for me for the
Yeah,
whole
or
week.
you're fat. Yeah, exactly,
That
exactly,
will. That
exactly.
will.
And
They go,
me
"Oh,
too.
Heather, get over it."
And it
But
just
it's
shuts you down.
absolutely
No,
true.
don't be
The-
rude like that.
Yeah, don't be rude like that.
You know,
Absolutely.
don't. I mean, women are sensitive. We're sensitive.
Are. Yeah.
And men aren't. And so I think men sometimes don't have that sensitivity with us, and they think it's okay to be like, "Oh, you're really going to eat that, really?"
Uh-huh.
And we think, okay, so they're saying we're fat, we shouldn't be eating that. Okay, what do I do? Just order a salad?
I know, and then you feel like that. You go, "Well, I'll do," you know. And I used to do that back in the '80s when I was when I was dating.
Mhm.
I would, you know, because we were around a lot of fashion models and stuff all the time. So I was always really
Body conscious.
self-conscious.
Your body conscious.
Body conscious I was, because like, you know, here she was a size 1. Oh, I can't believe I went to a size 1. I was a 0 forever. I go, a 0? I haven't been a 0 since second grade. You know, that's how that would not be where I'm going. So you order a salad and seltzer with lemon.
Mhm.
But what you know, but what you really want is the ribs.
Right.
But now I've learned to say steak and salad. I can always get away with steak and salad. But anyway,
Mhm.
I digress. What I'm saying is that yes, I think the date took on where he was letting. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. And I love you if you're listening. I do. Here it is. You began to let me know who was in charge from the very beginning. I'm the man. To you know,
I'm going to control
do
the
the
situation.
men things. I'm going to control this from the very
Mhm.
beginning. And I get it. I mean, I guess I get it, but I wasn't digging it.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Uh,
So the diet soda, I mean,
the diet soda
Let-
was
let-
one. He goes,
I-
I drink diet soda.
okay,
You
but
should drink diet
because he
soda
does.
too.
Okay, that
I go,
okay, but that's
"What?"
control.
Yeah,
He's trying to control your intake,
right.
and he might be making some kind of a gesture.
And then he said, I didn't
Towards
put
weight,
any. He
right?
said, I didn't put any salt or butter on the popcorn. I
See,
was like,
okay, then okay, so then again,
Honey, I
you're
need some
thinking-
salt and popcorn in the popcorn.
right? So again, what are you thinking there? You're thinking probably the same thing.
Yeah.
So is he, you know, is this just who he is, or is he making a gesture towards my
Well,
whatever,
that was in my
person,
mind. I'm sure
towards my
that he was
person?
just saying, hey, look, this is how I'm.
But I'm talking
dealing
about
with my
how it
healthiness.
reflects how
Yeah.
we react in our mind to the actions,
Yeah.
whether it be a coworker, whether it be a boss, no matter who.
Yeah.
Our reaction to
He probably also was a little bit ticked because I came into the studio. I came to pay the bills at the studio, and I couldn't find my checkbook. And poor Rodell was looking like, Heather, you can never find anything. We need to put a clapper or a locator on all of your important things. which is true. No, no. That,
I
you know,
get that.
and so I think I let him wait, I think, for like accident. Or
Okay.
25 minutes by accident. But I told him to come on in. But no, no, no. I'm going to sit out right here. That means that you need to hurry.
Okay, so was there an apology?
Oh, right away. I go, oh, hey, man, I am so sorry.
Mhm.
Yada, yada, yada.
Mhm.
You know, I was down there, you know, with the radio, you know, producing, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. I had a couple of issues. I had to get through them right away. He goes, hey, no problem. He said, but if your things weren't in my car, he said, I would have driven off.
Okay, so that tells you
I
that
said,
would have been
"What?"
that would have been his reaction, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so his reaction was, I'm just guessing, but he was thinking he wasn't important enough for you. That everything else was coming first.
Right.
Now I drove off in a vehicle while the other
Did
one
you?
was yesterday.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Well,
So
one
we're
was
gonna talk
being
about that.
worked on.
Hey, so where are we at, Mr. Razor? Mr. Razor is on the mic with us today, and he's gonna help us out. Do we want to play a song? Can we play a song?
Houston,
Oh, yeah,
Is
there you
this
go.
now? This is a man who understands women.
Mhm.
He said we're gonna play some Whitney Houston.
Yeah, we need someone.
We need some. He said this conversation needs Whitney Houston. Absolutely, this
Mhm.
conversation. Hey, Pastor Dan Dangana, we shout out to you. He's watching us right now. Bill McPhail, he's very special. He said, oh, I know Heather. I've known her for many years too.
Mhm.
Very special. We love her. Milo Catetas, we love you too. Thank you so much. All right. Big shout out to all of our friends out there. That's right. You're looking fabulous. You're looking really good on the screen. I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, well, thank you. Hey, I appreciate that. Darken the hair a little bit.
I
Not
like
like
it.
anymore, you know.
I like it. All right. Hey, this is About Town Media broadcast station,
Yes.
ATMBS.
To you.
All right, that was just so
Yes.
beautiful. That was some Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
I Look to You, and this is About Town Media broadcast station bringing to you live the voice of the community. We are here for you. It's about my town. It's about our town. That's
Absolutely.
right. What's happening in our town, everyday living. And this is Heather P. and Teddy Silva, and we are in the
Hey.
house with you
Yes.
today, loving on you, just giving you some easy love. You know, it's all about love, and we are talking about putting your best face forward and trying to get out there and engage. 50 plusers, actually just single people out there trying to engage. It doesn't have to be 50. I remember younger, and I was in my 20s, and I had just divorced, and I had gone to the single thing, and I was like the youngest in there, but yet I really wasn't, mentally wise or spiritual wise, and I really wanted to figure out how to navigate in a single world, of people who are all hooked up. Everybody's hooked up, and what we were talking about.
But that's not everybody is. When we're single, it seems like everybody is.
Right. Oh, okay. That's good too. Make that note. That it seems like everybody's hooked
seems
up.
that way.
Right. How that they're but they're not. Hey, big shout out to Belinda Haley. I know she's trying to get through and get on the air. So we'll try to figure it out, Belinda. We'll try to figure it out for you. RD2 is on that's what I call him, RD2. I love that name. RD2 is DJ Razor, but he's on the DJ for us today. And he is managing like crazy. So he's going to help us out. So Miss Belinda, don't worry. He's going to figure out how to get to you. Okay, darling? That's Pastor Belinda Haley. She's with us all the time. She contributes to us all the time. And I know that her big deal is 50. And I know that she has some things to say about that. And we'll get there. But we're going to I just fucking regular,
Well, and 50 plus day. I mean, I guess, when you get to be 50 plus, the pool goes down because a lot of people are married by that time.
That's right.
And so they are. But not all of us are. We're divorced. We're widowed. We're widowers.
The dynamic is different than it was 25 years ago. Now, for one thing, for our parents, most of them were getting ready to kick the butt. So
That's
50
true.
plus wasn't really even an option, or, they were just like, oh, I'm done. I'm just going to go, and make sure I get into heaven. I'm like, that ain't working. But now, we're probably going to live to 100 today.
More and more.
Dr. Goldwater, a generian, is that you said? He works with older geriatrics. He is with geriatrics. That's his specialty. And he's talking about the new centurions, and there's tons of them now. Before you hear one person who was 100, now you see 8 people at your dinner table who are 90 plus, and they're doing okay. Make it to 100. We will, our group, everybody born from 1951, probably make it to 100. Water and medication.
Well, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think we're not on as much medication. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain medications that people need to be on that are going to help them.
Yeah.
But that people don't look at medication like they used to.
About being healthy.
They get out more. They try to be more energetic. Yes, I think
like the Iron Maiden.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. Our commitment to being in the best possible shape and feel the best we can. That's
whatever
different.
That means.
Whatever that means.
It's
different for everybody.
As going to naturalist, and maybe once a year, like a physical, you go to a naturalist, which I choose to do, and then they find on in your system. It's also been talking this morning about taking proper vitamins that are going to do help your body to be the healthiest it can. We know about cleanses now. which
Ye-
people never
oh,
used to do colon cleanses
So true.
or liver cleanses or anything else. We cleanse.
That's right.
You know,
organ cleanses
Yes,
that never
it's
was
no,
ever,
ever.
and it's huge.
It's huge. Our organs need to be cleansed.
Yes.
There's more
yes.
that we're finding out about doing things on the outside or on the inside that help with the outside. And of course,
Yes.
we have to try to look as good as we. That all, you know, that's
Right.
right. You don't want things.
And-
So we need to look at the.
been taking for the last us in getting there.
Yes.
So, you know, I was feeling some kind of way from the date, quote unquote, and trying to figure out how to navigate through this, and is it even worth it? I know a lot of friends say, you know, I'm not going to even date. I give up. I'm not gonna even deal with that. I'm just gonna go to church and work out and
Well, but there's more people. That's a choice too.
okay.
We all have choices,
Ah,
and some people are very happy doing that. I mean, I was alone for 6 years.
okay, that's so true.
I was alone for 6 years. Didn't need life when this man came along. You know, now it's I can still do it on my own. I don't need him in my life. I choose.
To have.
I choose to have a partner.
Yes, yeah.
It is challenging. The older we become, we bring into relationship,
Mhm.
the more baggage we bring in, the more it takes to try to.
Mhm.
I mean, my man has a 12-year-old son. I mean, that's
Whoa,
huge for me to try
huge.
to navigate around
Because
that.
your daughters are grown.
My daughters are grown, and my daughters are out of the house.
One's getting ready to get married.
She'll be getting married before too long. The other one is married, and so you know they are they have their own lives. To where we're going along, and then every other weekend we have. I mean, it's like just completely changing focus, and it's like stepping back on my heels all the time, going, "Wow," because you have to constantly change. Just bad.
Is change.
That's the truth.
You know, Pope John Paul, he was so wonderful about that and uniting the world and asking them to come back to the Father. But Pope John Paul, he did two great things. He said, let there be no light between us. Let there be no light between us. This was his symbol. And
okay, so
he brought everybody up. Let there be no light
I want to
between
make
us.
I want and your fingers together.
Solidarity.
There's no space.
Oh, there's no space. Oh, I get it.
There's no space.
There is no like that.
Wait, yes.
So let there be no
space.
light between us.
So the light between us would be this. What I want light between us is
right.
And what she's indicating.
Right.
When
like
there is light between space, there can be division. I mean, you look at that. There's division between you.
Anything can enter in.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Anything enter in there can break that.
Right.
Can stand between it. Because there's division. So when you're together,
it's not. So that's what he
you are
puts
acting
that
as
up
one.
there. He goes, let there be.
Oh God.
And that the whole entire world, to heal the world, gave corporate America, because General Motors uses this constantly and Ford uses this constantly in the ethics mode. You go, let there be no light between us. And then we do it. We train that and we teach that in prison ministry. As part of our team let ministry, we always say, let there be no light between us when we go together as a team into the prison. Because when there's and it shows. And it shows. So you have to be of one mind, of one space. But how are you going to get that?
Well, sometimes it's impossible.
I mean, really.
Sometimes it's impossible because one will act like they're sitting here when they're really this way.
They're really like this.
And even more so, they're more like this.
Like this.
Yes, right? I mean, it's true.
It's true.
something came to mind. I'm sorry. This
So
is
that was one
this
thing
has to
that
do
he
with
said.
relational, though.
It
Kind of
is
going
all
back.
relational.
It is,
It
but this is kind of going back to dating
to
and
dating.
and and having sex and
Yes.
making love.
That's right.
I mean, I want to tell my man, I need you. I need you to join with you. When you're joined, there's no light. There's no division. It is an act of
clarity.
yes.
To being
yes,
solid.
Yes.
I think
There
you got that
that's
Ashford
what
and
it is.
Simpson. That's another anniversary coming up. Ashford and Simpson. You don't have that one? Oh my gosh, we got to get that one. Solid as a rock. But that's what that means.
Right. I think a lot of people don't know what no light between us means. They're going, what light?
Why did the Pope say that? There be no light between us.
But you know what? As lights that are shining or whatever, it's like to shine. So I think there can be a misconception. So I'm glad we went over that.
There be no light between us.
So I want you to go on. I mean, we're off subject. What about your date?
Oh, okay. So anyway, no, but that's getting to the date.
What happened to the date,
that was one thing. And also,
because he was offended. We stopped where you were offended when he was offended and said he would have left.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So he already.
I would have left.
The date started where he felt that
to me,
to you, than him,
right.
And he was trying to make you something important.
Right.
Okay. So
yes. Okay. So then on that note,
so you started your date. You went to dinner.
We went to dinner.
Went to the movie.
The dinner was really good. And hey, we're going to say, hey, Flash. Shout out to Big Flash. We're on the air right now on About Town Media Broadcast Station at 1400 Dallas Street. Invite you to come in. But we see that you're saying hi to us. So anyway, what that meant by that is that, that's what he said. Please explain. We will. We will.
Oh.
He said, please explain. Let there be no light between us. We will do that. How does that work? And what has love got to do with it? Both of those. But
sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't.
What happened was we had the great, we went out to dinner, and that was really nice. So I could have been Bonnie Bad and talked about my independence and how I'm producing a show and I'm an executive producer and all that kind of thing. I could have been like that, but I just conceded. I said I apologized right away. Really good. He didn't like was at the restaurant. We're on Kofax.
Okay, so again,
I'm going to be popular.
Okay, but he probably again felt like he again felt like things are being taken away from him.
Hey.
I mean, I would think. I mean, I'm not trying to speak for this man, but if you just look at it logically, he would then feel like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
The focus is
not
at all.
And it's not on our date.
Right. It's not on the date. It's not on him. It's not you two being together and spending some time together, but it is taken away. So you go to the movie that you didn't. Now in the movie, I'm assuming it's dark. People don't know that Heather Shockley is sitting there.
That's right.
And so that was an undisturbed time. But you didn't enjoy.
I didn't enjoy it.
And then he gets a diet soda, and then he gets a popcorn with
no salt
and no butter. Okay. Okay, so if you go out
and then
again,
he bought some
salt and butter.
Jujubes, which I don't care for.
What is it?
Jujubes, or
what is Jujubes?
They're the to knock somebody out. No. I guess.
So is that when you buy them at the beginning of the movie? So if somebody's being noisy.
Shut up down there. Okay, so then after a while, he said, I was feeling pretty good in that movie. How about you? About what time is it? We need to do some whatever we're gonna do, because I need to get home and get my proper rest. I got to get proper rest, because I'm 60 now and I've got to get proper rest. I was like, what? No.
Okay. No. So let's talk about that, because obviously he's like saying he has to get home and get proper rest, and you're like, huh? What'd you just say? Okay.
He said we better hurry up. Whatever it is that we're gonna do, whatever that is.
Okay.
I was like, what? No.
Okay, so you must have thought.
I was talking about sex. Are you thinking that we should initiate sex right away?
Did you say that to him?
No, not yet, but I kind of got there.
Okay.
But I was like, oh, well, what are we gonna do? I said, well, why don't we hang out?
It is.
And it's so good. He goes, oh, I don't want to stand by the fire because I have on this Joffrey bean or whatever that was, silk turtleneck. I said, what? No.
You thought it was gonna melt on him.
I go, wow.
Oh, okay.
He said, we better go get to do what we're gonna do. I said, well, what do you want to do? Let's just hang out. He said, hey, do you want to go hear my jazz albums? I have some unbelievable jazz albums. I was like, what?
We're thinking.
I was thinking, oh, that is a terrible come on.
Okay, that's what I was just gonna say. So that was a terrible come on to get you to his house.
Yeah.
How you felt.
Yeah, that's how I
felt. So we want to talk about this because what we're feeling and what somebody is intending might be two different
things. Just some music.
Okay, so you went you must have gone and listened to the music.
Right. And then he goes, hey, that bra. Oh, you're trying to entice. And say it's going nowhere. Hard and fast.
So he was listening to this, Heather.
I know, darling, I love you so.
She's just
some dating thing works and how we can do it better.
Right, there you go. So the issue comes up about the bra. So obviously thinking sex.
He's thinking sex because he's talking about my bra.
Right.
And and how I couldn't wear it to church.
He's looking at your boobs, obviously.
Yeah, so he's looking at my boobs.
So are you thinking
here, bro? That he was looking at my boobs.
So I'm going to have to tell you about a really weird experience I had. Straight. But anyway, I want
you so glad that he was looking.
Well, it makes us feel.
That was a $55 bra.
Okay, but it makes us feel good, right? It makes us feel effeminate. It makes desire the woman feel good. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So just saying he's my house. That house was so pristine you could eat off the floor literally.
Okay.
And don't mind my messy house. Don't mind. Okay. I was like, oh. Anyway, so here we go. So we're listening to me radio station, and they want me to critique the radio station. I mean, I don't mind any kind of criticism, but his critique was, oh, you need to really have it. If the Lord told you, this is what he said, if the Lord told you in a vision, a broadcast station, then yourself not making it a Christian broadcast station because the Lord told you to do it.
So that's his point of view. So he has a right to his opinion and point of view. Say to you. And beating people over the head. You don't draw people that need God. Draw the people who know God. And what are we supposed to be?
And the Lord told me, you're to spread news. Why?
Is it not done to do that? But you can't do that, and you can't reach the lost for the head. You've got to be real. We're now like we are women of faith.
Yes.
And so if you think of women as faith, you might think of I am holy. I'm so
I'm
holy.
so
I am
holy.
so up here. I would never
I'm
have
so
sex
church.
outside. And we
Come
do.
on.
We do. I mean, it's right.
And I'm sure you probably thought, I bet it's going to happen on the date.
Right. Right.
You know, but then I hear my men. No, it's on the date. Okay.
Okay. So you just said I just want to hook up. Let's go out to dinner. Let's go back.
Wow.
Front, and you knew it.
Yeah. Huh.
You knew it.
Right.
Or maybe you said,
Mine all the time.
yeah, mine
Yeah.
too. Mine
So,
too.
I mean, I just be honest about
Yeah,
that.
mine too. It is mine too.
Maybe. What would I have done? Assaulted. No. No, you. And women are saying it out there. You just can't win for losing.
True.
You know, should I be thinking? Yeah. True. I mean, but then like rate it up more.
Let's think about it. Body image. When we think
Body
about our
image.
body image,
I thought
Okay,
you were
we're
saying
like,
I
okay,
was
that's
too
not-
fat to eat.
that is sexual.
And a
Otherwise,
cola.
why are we worried about our body image if it's not sexual?
Oh, okay. The body image.
When we think about body image, I think in the back of our minds it's sexual. If we're going to think about
Jeff Burns might be checking you out this evening, or we're going to be eating just some barbecue. He's a true friend. We just hang out. But says Heather the other day, and that's before I was getting ready for this date because I was nervous about this date, and he was helping me to get over my nerves on the date. He said, Heather, I said, well, I wonder if he thinks be real. He said, sex every 6 minutes or something. Like it was a statistic. He goes, look, men think about sex every so many more. They're old or young, they think of. I said, like, what do you mean? He said, like sex. I said, oh, okay. And then he said, you know, and that's why he said that just kills me when I hear DQ and say, hey, a man, if he's, you know, he's perverted, or, you know, he's into porn, or he needs to have an intervention, or he needs to pray harder, just to keep a woman, a man, and look at all the women in the room, and will have mentally have had sex with every single woman in the room, you know, and it's not even attracted to her. And having Buffy, and having sex with Becky,
Wow, okay.
and having sex with Susie, and having sex with
This man
Linda.
might not be disagreeing with
He
that.
said he's it. Yeah, see, that doesn't mean he's
Let's
good.
start doing that.
I don't even think like that. I don't even think like that.
I mean,
I don't.
I will look around, but I'll say, is he attractive? Okay,
But I'm not looking at him like, is he a future sexual partner?
No, but
I mean, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I do, and I don't even
listen to
know.
what I'm gonna say.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we do this. Women, we do this. We'll look around and say, in bed with him. Could I? So maybe. I'll be like, ew.
I mean, that's what I'd be like.
You know, yeah. So do we do that too?
Oh, maybe.
Do
Out
we
there, do we little thoughts sexually?
Oh, okay, right. But let me.
what are
I
we
want to
saying?
preface that a little
Okay.
bit. So we're saying, like, say, could never, I'd never want to. But I think as women, maybe we are more, maybe some
Because
are
we're
and some
nest
are not.
builders.
Because with me, I'm really,
Oh yeah.
that's a really
Oh,
hard,
yeah.
and that's why for 6 years I didn't do anything
Right.
at all.
That's right.
But okay, so this is another part of it. I think there could be, and you can tell me if we're wrong, but I think there's perception that if you're looking at someone and you're thinking, you know, maybe I turned on, you know.
Oh.
I mean, I think there could be a misconception about that. Oh my gosh, I'm turned on by this person. When it's not that you're turned on by that person, it's just, I mean, reproduce.
That's true. I mean, that's part of our
And
nature.
I know as a woman,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Mhm.
I less of a woman it can.
Other-
It's bothered me. I can't give my man a child. I never will.
Right, things like that.
You know, he's got 2 children.
Things like that.
Yeah, things like that. I think kind of do a little bit.
Mhm.
You know, so it kind of makes me draw back a little bit. It kind of makes me feel like, you know, maybe he does want her. I mean,
Or more available.
or what?
I just had a
Whatever.
big friend just tell me that, you know, they're pregnant and he's definitely 60. I don't think he's
Wow.
feeling that.
Right.
But, you know, if no going to be living until 100, be living, knock on wood, until that I still have, you know, 45 more years to go. Oh, empty nest.
Right.
45 years truly.
Mhm.
The first 45 years was
Well, right. But
You
maybe
know?
not on your own, because maybe you'll bring somebody into your life.
right.
I mean, we don't. Sometimes we don't know what's a. You know.
I
so-
think people are looking for late, and I don't think hook up, because if you have 45 years to go.
Right, and what are people really looking for? I mean, some people are just looking for something. So I was going to tell you something that happened.
And
to me
then
yesterday.
somebody that I can grow old with, and that's not a bad thing,
No thing either.
you know.
But you never know what. So I want to tell you, it happened to me, and I honestly, I found myself crying after. So it did something, and I was doing internally.
Oh, okay.
But I am a man to have my car service, and so my teeter bring your car. There's time. I was on my way, sitting just off of Broadway on Alameda at a light. I know I something. I did this movement, and I was a guy next to me, and a policeman's behind him. The policeman does not have his lights on. He's not trying to pull the guy over. Hanging out his all the way down. He's hanging out his window, making gestures to me, and you know, kissing and carrying on. And I'm like, I'm like everywhere, but you know, and it's something really strange, because then I mean, the guy's almost out his door.
Right.
You know, trying to get my attention. I was like, oh my God. The minute the light came over, turned his lights, light. He was sitting behind him with
He might have thought
no,
he was
without
doing it or something.
and well, just to me, you know, and everything. So I don't know what the policeman might have thought. I mean, I thought maybe the policeman thought he might follow me. Maybe he was stalking me. Maybe, you know, maybe there was an issue. But yeah, on went the lights, and he pulls him right over. And I was honestly thankful, but I did start crying. And I didn't start crying because he was pulled over. I started crying. So it obviously hit something inside of me that felt cheap. I don't know what, I haven't gotten in touch with that yet. But I mean, I immediately started crying about it. And
now, on that note, we're going to go to a quick break. But before we do, let's do a quick station identification. You're listening right now to Heather P. and Teddy Silva about Town Media Broadcast Station, ATMBS 5280, and we're broadcasting live right here at the Big ACAD Arts District, located at 1400 Dallas Street in the Big A. And you can't miss us. We're right around the corner from our old digs, the Dayton Opportunity Center, and we're in the corner from what is our new place now? Not our new place, but a great new thing, our venues. New Hope.
Oh, Aurora Hope Center.
It's called Aurora Hope Center. Incubator, is that right?
Yeah,
For small business.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and so we're gonna have a couple concerts over there. All right. Okay, so and now we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. But hey, if you have a question and join us we're on ATMBS 5280 on the Facebook, About Town Media broadcast station on the Facebook. I want you to go with us. Give us what you're talking. You know, just filling you. I want you to fill it also, and tell us what's happening. Out to Michelle Calhoun. This is her first anniversary at a wedding this time last year at Michelle when she took her nuptials at Potter's House of Denver, and now it is 1 year to date for us as well. Yay! Shout out. We are to About Town Media broadcast station. That's right. Happy birthday! And we're doing a lot of stuff. You know, now I want to make sure that we give a big shout out, and this is an endorsement to what do we call
Complete though is their liquid vitamin. So your body does not have to fight the absorption.
or break it down.
Which I'll tell you, your body has to work to break down if it's coated. An extra because it sits. So there's certain things that sit in our system that doesn't process through. So then you can do a cleanse. So Pure Trim, which again used to be Awareness
Pure Trim.
Yes, that Pure Trim is actually the weight loss part. Liver cleanses. They have colon cleanses.
Kidney cleanses.
Yes, they have one called Defense that keeps your defenses up.
Oh wow,
They have,
that was what I had to have.
The Complete though, if you're going to do nothing else, the Complete, I can tell you that so the friends of mine that are way high up, I mean, they started this when yes, they are way up.
We need to invite everyone, and we need to invite them here to our studio upstairs so we can have a little panel.
We'll see. I think they're gonna try to be in town. I mean, I'll talk to Tess.
Yeah, will you?
It's Tessa Graham.
Tessa Graham.
And
how do they get a hold of Pure Trim?
Well,
through you?
They can. I mean, they can.
Okay, so Teddy Silva to Pure Trim. Facebook Teddy Silva and Facebook us.
Yes, you could Facebook me would be the best way. The best way to get a hold of me is Facebook me, ask to friend me, messenger me.
Messenger.
That would
Teddy
probably be the best
Silva,
way. Messenger me.
Teddy Silva.
Let me know. I know that they said the team in Colorado is just not doing very well right now, kind of falling apart. I am not really. Really hard. I've been involved in a lot. Are the most amazing products I think on earth.
Okay.
I really do.
No, I do. They saved me from my staph infection. Remember when I got sick 3 years ago now?
I mean, we were talking about
issues that a lot of men 50 plus will face. but I think it has to do
Well,
with complete vitamin therapy.
And Tess and I had talked about that. It's kind of an all-inclusive. You don't believe in chiropractic, natural things, but she will 2 pills a day. But you get your liver all cleaned out, and so therefore it's functioning.
I needed that for the staph.
Right. And we need it for a lot of different things.
Staph hides in the liver and staph hides in the spleen.
There's so much hides in your liver.
Oh.
So much. It's a major filter. Much hides there.
Hides there.
Cleanse and then do the complete each and every day. Men should not suffer from that. I mean, there's women who have no sex drive.
After no libido, no sex drive, going through major hot flashes, and that keeps you from having those
or even
symptoms.
The anxiety that can come up with some of that.
Great. That's when I was taking it first.
Well, I remember you're the one who told me about it. So it has like 285 or 235 or 285 products. And I was like, what?
I'll take a shot of that in the middle of the day when I really don't have to, but I will take a shot of that in the middle of the day, especially if I'm going to court or if I'm having really big stuff going on. So complete with Puritan. Complete is a big a quart bottle or 2 quart bottle.
I think it's
a quart. One quart bottle. You put it in the refrigerator. Yep. It's delicious.
It does.
The kids can.
It's a bit close to $40, but I don't have $40 right now. But if you think about all the things that you buy, and then you buy this and that and the other, if you add that up, and your body isn't making full absorption.
So you're not getting 100%.
Yes.
But you will feel it the very first time you take it.
Right, and it does say take it with food. I don't.
I
can take it at night. It helps me sleep better.
It does help me sleep.
Mentally, I'm more clear.
Oh, yes.
You don't have it.
Really,
it just takes it out.
And so I need to get some for my one girlfriend who's detoxifying from alcohol also. I think that will help out.
I think that would help.
I mean, we're not trying to say that this is a miracle drug.
No.
We're about townmedia@gmail.com.
Yes.
Abouttownmedia@gmail.com. It's about my town. It's about your town. It is about our town. And we're giving you a voice in the community.
Yes.
All right. What do we got there, Mr. RD2?
Rolls Royce. I'm wishing on a star.
Oh, do you remember that song?
I don't, but
Rolls Royce, Wishing on a Star.
We'll see when it starts. Maybe I do.
It was in the 70s. Was it 79? I think it was like 78 or 79. I'd be at the Yellow Front with my Donna Summer disco dress on.
Dancing to it.
And then when this will come on, this was a date song. That's something that we don't have. Dating songs anymore. They're like, hey, let me hit you in the head. You're like, what?
It's all dancing, I said, you don't dance with me. He goes, I know, I dance with myself. And I said, dance.
This you could dance to. This is it. Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce. I'm wishing on a star. To follow away. I'm wishing on a star. I'm wishing on a dream. are back
Yes,
now. That's
we are.
Rolls Royce and Wishing Upon a Star. And like RD2 said, whatever bad date is going wrong, if you play that in the very end, by the time I got through, and I'm so glad that we are talking about the 7 steps, the 7-step Bible, but we're going to be talking about dating and navigating, you know, in your 50s or 40 plus actually, and you know that you've got 45 more years to go. And so what are you going to do about it? You know, are you going to be, you know, well, whatever's your choice. If you choose to date, date. If you don't want to date, don't, you know, but own it. Have a good time about don't
you're deceiving even yourself.
You're deceiving yourself.
You know, be honest about it. I mean, we confess our sins. We also can, and I know,
and like Jeff Burns
like,
said, the majority of men, the way you think about sex so many times, and women do too. We just have to admit that that is I mean, I think that you're not necessarily truthful, but what's the word? I think you're being a hypocrite if you go, oh yeah, you know, don't have any sexual thoughts. Well, yeah, how's that going for you?
Well, I think no.
You're not himself constantly because he has impure thoughts.
Impure thoughts too.
Impure.
That's what I'm just saying.
And what makes it?
And who determines what's impure?
Yeah, and why is it dirty? Why is it dirty to think of a person in the throes of passion? That's a very beautiful moment.
It should be. It should be.
It should
be. It shouldn't be thought of to be, you know, this awful thing and something you shouldn't be doing.
It shouldn't be saying, and I hate when people say you're going to do the nasty. Well, setting up the atmosphere that what you're going to do
is not nasty.
It's nasty. I mean, it's not nasty. You know, and it says in the book, you know,
that's
that
a frame of mind.
Under marriage, anything in the marriage bed is covenant and is sacred.
As long as you both agree to it.
As long as you both. Right. Covenant. If I'm in bed. Stands and these things can happen, but when I'm, you know, your body is sacred to me, in my body, to vice through the, you know, even though people are like, oh no, you don't love me. Yeah, if I'm with you, I love you. That's just who I am. You know, I love hard, I live hard, I play hard, but I love hard.
I'm back there, Heather.
That sounded terrible. That was not a porn thing. That was a I love you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, that's a, you know, that's daisies and flowers, you know, that's sugar cane and, you know, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
Okay. But that, I mean, if we take it that literally, we all love hard, you know.
You heard it. This is Heather P. About Town with Friends. This is Teddy Silva and Heather P. and Mr. RD2 Razor is on.
I want to do a shout out because, you know,
let's do a shout out.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hey, Michael Joy. That's a man after our heart. Michael Joy.
Absolutely.
And also, Frankie. Her, we love you, Frankie. She's battling lupus. And she's doing it with style and grace.
There you go.
And she can tell us about that. And we're going to talk about some lupus Later on this week, we're going to talk about how lupus attacks loved ones and how to deal with that. But those are some things also. Now you're dating, navigating wise. Okay, so those are some things that 50 plus has. Our aging process. We're not 5 years old anymore, and we're not 30 years old anymore. 30-year-old, if you're 50, what do you think? Should we be able to date a 30-year-old if we're over 50? It's a date. Now you know that might not be, coming into our 50s. Hey, there's medication going on, challenges that we have to deal with now. I mean, that's real. How do you want to talk about that? I mean, like, for example, okay, I mean, there are just some things going on. Like, I should not expect the man, young whippersnapper. Yeah. I'm no young whippersnapper.
Okay, now when you're saying about the sex act, right?
I think just regular, just this whole entire attitude. Again, before 9 o'clock, all of my sleep. Now I need to make sure we're doing this and we're doing that.
Well, I think we need to respect people where they are.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to even go
well, now I wear glasses and I never did before.
Right. If you're having some sexual issues,
for that,
because that just makes the issue worse. It doesn't make it better. You try to
that's good.
Do the best you can,
right,
to maybe differently or in a different way. You have to get a little maybe creative.
Right. We might not be in the shape that we were in our 20s and our 30s, C and testosterone and menopause. We might not be in the estrogen. We might not be in the same shape. And I think that's not realistic to expect that to happen. I think you're really going to set yourself up. No, I don't know.
Okay. But, Doug can help us out. But I was reading something. Men conception held high, that is who will be more attractive. Her boobs might be smaller, she might be heavier.
Really?
But that is more attractive. I mean, of course you're going to look at an attractive woman, but that is more attractive. If an attractive woman walks in with her head down and sloughed over and everything, it shows she has no confidence. So it's when you walk with your head high and everything else that you draw the attention.
No.
Huh?
I disagree.
Oh, okay. What do you agree upon? Okay, tell us.
I think it has a lot to do.
Okay.
You get to know the person.
I'm talking about on first glance, though.
Well, on first glance,
I mean, doesn't the hottest babe in the room win?
I don't know if that's always the case. And actually,
and that's what you're saying. That it's not the case.
That's what this man said. He said it wasn't the case.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm older, so I've learned that lesson earlier in life, where I don't really cover.
Oh.
Right, because I mean, absolutely drop dead beautiful woman or man.
Oh my God! Like if he is fine,
but they're just shallow. There's no depth. There's no anything else, because you know what? Their whole life they haven't had to deal with any depth. It's just all been about this.
Oh yeah.
And so they don't have to deal with any depth on the inside. She'll be dumb, and she opens her mouth, and you're like, oh yeah, and you're like, oh my gosh, seriously?
You're like, all we're gonna talk about is protein grams.
Or
even what, fine,
right?
like, so those big fabulous bodybuilders. Shout out to Marcus Moore, you are a fabulous trainer. But no, he actually has depth.
And some do, but there's a lot of them who
some
don't.
that do not.
They don't.
Some do not.
And so, like you're saying, it's the personality more. It's what draws out. And so you might be attracted to someone, but then you might not find out they have the personality. This man said, that he believes that most men, and and he wrote an article on it, that it's not about beautiful woman, and we are. It's a misconception. that men are attracted more to. If a woman walks in, okay, so let's say a woman walks in, she's walking with confidence, she's chatting and laughing with a friend, they would be more apt to say, ooh, and who is she, than a really beautiful woman who walks in, she looks angry and she looks, there's nothing about her. She walks in with a friend like, I am just all that or whatever, she might think that, or she might be like, oh, whatever, so that there is, when you see more personality, when you see more of these things coming out.
Well, I'm so glad that you said that, because I've got to be honest. Like, we're always honest with all of our listeners. Our honesty, we're actually helping you, because we are your voice in the community. Here, quite not good enough. Really, what I was feeling when I did see so many of my friends, so many of my, my buddies, younger women, and actually choose, and actually I got to get married again. I'm going to get married again for sure. But I'm looking this time for, a woman like 35, in her 30s. Like, every single one said, not one said, oh, I'm going to look for one. And I began to feel this before I went to Maui. I began to feel, and then shortly after, when I got back, I was feeling pretty good. But then going into to feel that again, so this old girl ain't what she, am I still hot, babe?
But
I'm not even a queen now. I'm in my queendom,
and it's different.
And I don't want to be a hot babe. I am, and I love being in my queendom.
Now I'll tell you, because I had a man. I can pick him up. We have a car service. Drove him. I went to his house. I drove him.
Oh, she drove insanity. No.
And he was talking, and he was talking about. I mean, he was saying, he had 3 daughters, and only date I date women who are very close to my age. And he says, I don't date any. He goes, although I'd never hire them. I have my business, and I will
date them, but not hire.
That's
them.
right.
I got a problem.
He says, because they're not as intelligent.
Ooh.
They don't have it. In his view, they weren't as intelligent. They didn't have as much work experience, and were flighty.
Maybe.
So I said, so why then? Because they don't look for commitment. Because they're always up to do whatever. He says, when you have women more substance.
Is it called flexibility, or they're just
asking to say, hey, let's go to this new whatever kind of restaurant I've heard of, and they'll go, yeah, let's go.
Maybe we'll say,
they're more adventurous.
Well, did we get any reviews on that?
Because I asked him, I said,
what kind of food is that?
And I wondered if they were more sexually, and he says, no. The other women that are more adventurous sexually. But he said they're adventurous. They'll do it at the drop of a hat. Oh, yeah, let me drop everything and I'll come. He says, we have more substance about themselves.
Right.
And they know more who they are.
Right.
He says, they don't know who they are. He says, I'm not looking to marry one for sure or anything like that. But he says, last minute, and I go, hey, let's go out. And I said, so how many women do you have? Of course, he was probably bragging. He goes, 5 or 6 different ones. I just go out with. So he says, there's no commitment. There's no anything. They don't care. They couldn't care less.
The other C word. Okay. Commitment. Dating. We're thinking, I five rules, but and that's surfacing with all the gurus who are talking about it, especially all of the spiritual counselors out there. They're really talking about it. There's like purpose. Okay, but what does that mean? Yes, what does that mean? It's just so crazy. But also, does that mean that I have to date with that miserably? And that's probably why I've been feeling the way I've been feeling lately is because I know for a fact that I'm not dating marrying. I know everybody's like, oh my God, that's your problem. I'm not dating to get married. You know, I mean, yes, do I want to be married? How? Gotta go on a date. And then they say, okay, so you get the date with purpose. So, and that was just on TBN. They said, no, in the first 3 dates, if this is the man for you. And if you aren't looking at this man in marriage terms by the 3rd date,
I have heard that.
Let him go.
I have heard that.
You need to let him go
Now
because
that you
it's
say that.
a
Mhm.
waste of everyone's time
Mhm.
and effort, and it's
Mhm.
going to end up in an ungodly place. I was like,
I have heard that.
puritanical. No, that is what I thought. But I thought, man, I'm going to fail at that class. I'm going to fail.
Well, you know, I think, I mean, is your purpose marriage?
Okay,
So dating
what
with
is
purpose,
your purpose?
it seems like dating with purpose, they're saying but I have heard that if you can't visualize yourself at after the 3rd date being married to that person, you're wasting your time. Okay, my thing is this. Why I'm not even thinking about
That's going to kill me.
I'm not thinking about marriage. I mean, I've had my man in my life for almost 2 years now, right? We've lived together for like a year.
Yeah.
Or more than a year, maybe.
Right.
I don't want to get married.
Are you seriously not saying I want to get married now?
No.
This is what we must do now.
No.
This is our next step.
No.
Okay, we've been dating for 4 seasons. Now
Doesn't
we have
matter.
to get married.
No.
I'm so glad you said that.
No, not at all.
That's taking
Although
a big
someone was
burden
reading the
off
other
of
day,
me.
again by a man,
Yeah, that's
and
taking a
he
burden
said
off of me.
every man is looking to get married. I mean, he looks at that.
He
and
said
that-
that's what I have heard,
but-
that every man deep down is looking to get married. Fall into that category of a marriageable person, you're wasting your time
Go
on a
ahead.
date. What are you saying?
Because I can see you going,
He said,
hold up.
hold it.
Marriage for comfort
What do you mean by that?
Boom.
and security.
That's what they're looking for, comfort and
Marriage for
security.
comfort
That was
and
like in the
security.
color
Well,
purple.
why can't
So grandpa kept saying, what you need is a wife. After he had already lost his other wife, he said, what you need, he said, look at this place around here. What you need is a wife. I'm going to go get you a wife.
But when you say that, I mean, you can't have that outside of marriage?
No.
Or a man feels he can have that outside of marriage?
I don't-
I think certain people don't feel comfort and security outside of marriage. It's a commitment, right? So
and it is the covenant.
Okay, so let's go there
It's
for a
the
minute.
hook.
Yeah, but let's go there. Let's go there for a
Hook
minute.
them in.
Okay, you might reel them in,
Reel them
but
in.
let me tell you what commitment is a heart paper that says you're married.
Ooh.
It's not a ring on your finger. It's not going through a ceremony, whether it's a justice or marriage ceremony. Commitment. Whether you are going to cheat, how many married people do we know, men and women, who cheat?
Oh my
Who
God.
cheat? There's
And that's something that
it's
we're
an
going to have to
epidemic
talk about.
proportion
That
that it is
and it
happening.
probably always was.
But and well, don't you think?
Paul
Commitments are like,
spoke to the
oh my gosh.
Colossians when Paul spoke to the Colossians.
Mhm.
He was like, you guys are just, really, I mean, I'm going to break it down into street terms. Is you guys are doing it all the time. You guys are so promiscuous. There's no promise to what you do. You're just in and out of it all the time. And that's that promiscuity that he was like, you got to cut that out. But see, what I think is that he didn't go one step further, which is to say, okay, it doesn't have to be like that.
Mhm.
The 80s,
Mhm.
during the sexual revolution,
Mhm.
when everybody's just, if it feels good, do it.
Mhm.
No, we're not saying if it feels good, do it.
No, not at all.
That's the flesh. That it's got to be here in the mind before there's a really
Mhm.
serious sexual
Mhm.
act. And if you don't have all that with it, it's just not good sex.
No, my whole thing is I don't want to cheat.
It's just not good
I mean,
sex.
I don't want to cheat. He doesn't want to cheat. I mean, if he does, I'm done. I'd expect him to say, I'm done. I mean, I just would.
But would you?
But yes, I
Because
would.
a lot of people,
No.
I think, what about
No,
that?
that's
We're
one
going to talk
thing.
about that.
My whole thing is don't cheat on me. Don't hit me.
Yes.
Respect me. Respect me enough not to hit me, not to
Okay.
cheat on me.
That's right.
Respect me enough.
All right. Because
If you wanna do that,
many people
go.
are there. They're like, the moment that you have an infidelity, you're done.
Yes, absolutely.
And I might feel like that because what I do know for a fact is what an infidelity does is gone.
So why stay together?
Good. Okay. And what's the other one? Vision.
Right. Okay. Oh, it divides
It
you.
divides you.
It does.
Suddenly there's light between you.
Well, yeah. Suddenly there's something else in there.
That's right.
Another
Somebody
person.
or
Another
or a
person.
thought. So hey, well, but that's how good it is here. And so we invite you back to our next show to tune in. We want to hear your feedback. Let us know how you are feeling
Yeah.
about the dating game.
Yeah. Go on Facebook.
Go on
Let us know
Facebook.
some things.
Sure.
Get a hold of us.
Instagram us. Get to email us
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
abouttownmedia@gmail.com. Emailing is easier because then you can tell us some private things. Blast it all over the Facebook. But we
With your
want
name
you
on there.
with your name on there.
Or message us.
Cookie too new said what? No, it doesn't have to be like that. Email us at abouttownmedia@gmail.com. Know what your troubles and trials and tribulations and your victories
And
are
your thoughts.
and your thoughts. Navigation of, shall I stay or shall I go? Am I gonna be
Mhm. Mhm.
45 years?
Mhm.
Right.
And remember, your strength comes from the Lord, not your
The
relationship.
strength.
It should be a
That
triangle,
is.
no matter what.
No
Your
matter what.
relationship is a triangle.
Is a triangle. God's at the top and he's in the middle.
Yes.
And we also want to tell you too that let the Lord work his plan let the Lord work the plan for you. He's got a plan for you. And if you allow the process to happen,
Mhm. Mhm.
I guarantee you that. This is Heather P. About Town. This is Ted About Town. We're About Town Media broadcast station, ATMBS, giving you the for going on in your town.
Yes.
Love you.
Bye.
Thank
See you later.
you.
Bye.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
I can imagine somebody we're gonna say we talk about sex tonight.
Yeah, I'll find out. I'm big.
You know that?
I'm gonna let it run out. That was
That was so good.
You talk about sex tonight.
No,
It's on everybody's mind.
sex. We'll think about sex every day. We're just telling it like it
No, I'm telling you, some Christian people be like, too much.
is. And that's what
No,
I
because
ask. Is
you know what? They're denying that they're thinking
there a
about it.
denying? And
They're in
that's
denial.
denial right there is what's so bad. Denial is what's bad.
Yeah.
About like, why did you talk about my bra and my breast?
He was
You were
looking at him.
looking at me sexually.
He was looking at him. He hadn't been
Needed wanted to work to go to lunch.
You don't have to have sex to have.
No, that's true. You don't have to have sex.
I love that. I gotta
Jimmy got me this.
photocopy this.